The Krell arrived without warning. Their massive ships appeared in orbit around every inhabited world in the Galactic Council, dark silhouettes blotting out stars. The message was simple, broadcast on all frequencies in perfect translations. We are the Krell, surrender or be destroyed. One by one, the mighty civilizations of the galaxy, species that had traveled to stars for millennia, built Dyson spheres, and mastered antimatter, bent the knee. The proud warrior Vaultec, with their battle fleets stretching across 3 spiral arms, calculated the odds and powered down their weapons. The hyper-intelligent Mori, whose computational matrices could predict the future with 99.8% accuracy, saw only one outcome and submitted. Even the ancient Drell, who had survived 3 extinction-level events on their homeworld, recognized the futility of resistance. All except Earth. Captain Jack Harper stood on the bridge of the UES Defiant, staring at the Krell ultimatum flashing on his display. Around him, his crew waited in tense silence. Earth's modest defense fleet, only 50 ships strong, was all that stood between humanity and the conquerors, who had subjugated over 300 species in less than a month. "Sir," Lieutenant Tom said quietly, "the Galactic Council is requesting we stand down. They say resistance is counterproductive." Harper's jaw tightened. "Counterproductive," he repeated. "That's an interesting way of saying suicidal." Admiral Lisa's voice came through the comm. "Captain Harper, you've seen the reports. The Krell have technology centuries beyond ours. The Vaultec's quantum shields didn't even slow them down." "With respect, Admiral," Harper replied, "the Vaultec gave up without firing a shot. Nobody's actually fought these Krell yet." A heavy silence followed. "What are you suggesting, Captain?" Harper looked around at his crew. Humans who had clawed their way to the stars despite limited resources, constant setbacks, and a homeworld nearly destroyed by their own hands. Humans who had never accepted impossible odds as the final word. "I'm suggesting we do what humans have always done, Admiral. We adapt." The Krell commander, known as First Voice of Conquest, had never encountered such a peculiar species. While their vessels were primitive, chemical rockets, and rudimentary fusion drives, they displayed no fear. Instead of surrendering, the humans had requested a meeting, an actual face-to-face meeting, in person. No species had ever dared. "Analysis?" First Voice asked the tactical mind. "Their technology poses no threat," the subordinate replied. "Their vessels could be destroyed with minimal effort. However, their behavior patterns are anomalous. They do not respond to intimidation as predicted." First Voice considered this. The conquest had proceeded perfectly until now. Perhaps understanding this aberration would be valuable intelligence. Grant their request, prepare the meeting chamber, and activate all security protocols. Harper had never imagined he'd be humanity's diplomatic representative, but here he was, stepping onto an alien vessel that could obliterate his entire species. He was accompanied only by Dr. Ben, Earth's leading xenolinguist. Remember, Ben whispered as they were escorted through corridors of gleaming metal, "Every conquered species describes the Krell differently. They seem to appear as whatever each species finds most intimidating." Harper nodded. "That's why we're here. I want to see what we're really up against." The meeting chamber was cavernous, with a single massive throne-like structure at its center. Upon it sat nothing that Harper could properly describe. The Krell was both there and not there, shifting between forms, sometimes insectoid, sometimes reptilian, sometimes pure energy. "You see our true form," the Krell voice boomed. "Interesting. Most species perceive a constructed image." Harper kept his face neutral. "We prefer reality, no matter how uncomfortable." "Reality is that you must surrender," the Krell stated. "Your species has no hope of victory." Harper smiled slightly. "That's what the Persians told the Spartans, what the British told the colonists, what every powerful force throughout human history has told those who dared to resist." The Krell's form rippled. "Those were conflicts between equals. We are beyond you in every measure." "Maybe," Harper acknowledged, "but here's what you don't understand about humans. We've never waited until we had equal footing to fight for our freedom. We've always been outgunned, outmanned, and outmatched, and we've always found a way. Impossible. Impossible is just a word we use until we do it, Harper said. While your ships were intimidating everyone else, we were studying your technology, your tactics, your patterns. We've been broadcasting everything we learned to every human settlement and ship. The Krell's form solidified briefly in what might have been surprise. Your primitive sensors cannot. Our sensors know, Harper interrupted. But the sensors we borrowed from the Mori when they thought we were preparing to surrender, those worked quite well. The Krell's form rippled violently. Deception. This changes nothing. It changes everything, Harper countered. Because while you've been conquering species that gave up without a fight, we've been preparing for one. And we've noticed something interesting about your ships. Harper took a step forward. They've never been hit by a concerted attack. Your defenses are untested. Your crews are inexperienced in actual combat. You've walked through an empty galaxy without resistance, and now you think you're invincible. For the first time, the Krell seemed uncertain. We will obliterate your homeworld as an example. Harper's smile widened. We evacuated Earth 3 days ago, scattered to 100 hidden colonies. Strike at one, and the others will learn from it. Every defeat will make us stronger, more adaptable. Can you say the same? The chamber fell silent. Humans, Harper continued, don't surrender when the odds are impossible. That's when we fight hardest. That's when we're most dangerous. We don't need to win today. We just need to survive. And surviving impossible situations is what we do best. As Harper and Ben returned to their shuttle, the Krell made no move to stop them. Did it work? Ben asked quietly. Harper kept his expression neutral as they boarded. Their thinking. That's all we needed to make them question their assumptions. As they disengaged from the Krell vessel, Harper's communicator lit up. Admiral Lisa's voice came through, tense but controlled. Captain, Krell vessels are withdrawing from Earth orbit. They're leaving. Harper exchanged a look with Ben. Not retreating, Harper corrected. Reassessing, they'll be back. But now they know something crucial about humanity. What's that? That conquering every other species in the galaxy might have been the easy part.